What's the most overhyped car of all time? Most people might say something like a Bugatti, a Lambo, or maybe even an EV like the Tesla Plaid, but no. The real answer, the car that is the most overglorified, overpriced, and overhyped, is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Bro, you just don't get it. The GT3 RS is a race car for the streets. It's the ultimate driver's car. But let's slow down for a second. I'm not saying the GT3 RS is a bad car. It's not. It's incredibly well engineered, it's fun to drive, and it looks awesome. But here's my issue. Is it really worth all the hype? Is it actually the ultimate driving machine? Or have we all just fallen for the Porsche marketing trap? Because when you take a step back and really think about it, the GT3 RS has some serious problems that nobody wants to admit. So let's break it down. Number 1. The price to performance ratio is a joke. Let's start with the most obvious problem, the price. A brand new GT3 RS starts at $250,000 USD, and that's if you're lucky enough to get an allocation. Most people have to deal with dealer markups that push it past $350,000. That is insane money. For comparison, here's what you could buy instead. A C8 Corvette Z06, which has almost the same horsepower but costs half as much. A 992 Turbo S, which will absolutely destroy the GT3 RS in a straight line. Or, if you're a real driving purist, you could buy a used 997 GT3 and a Lotus Exige for the same price. So let me ask you, what exactly are you paying for with the GT3 RS? It's not the power, because there are cheaper cars with more horsepower. It's not the speed, because a Turbo S is faster. It's not exclusivity, because Porsche will just release another one in 2 years. At this point, you're paying for the badge and the hype, and if you're okay with that, fine. But let's not pretend this is some incredible value in the performance world. It's not. Number 2. It's a track car that almost no one tracks. Now, Porsche fanboys will argue, it's not about straight line speed, it's about the driving experience. And to be fair, I agree. The GT3 RS is built for the track. It's got insane downforce, a screaming 9,000 RPM redline, a hardcore suspension setup. But here's my question. How many GT3 RS owners actually take their cars to the track? Because I've been to a lot of track days, and you know what I see? People tracking Miatas, M3s, Corvettes, and old 911S, a few 911 GT3s here and there, but almost zero GT3 RS models. Instead, most of these cars just sit in climate-controlled garages or get driven to coffee meets on Sunday mornings. And if that's how you want to use the car, that's totally fine. But don't pretend it's this hardcore track monster when most owners never push it to its limits. Number 3. The purist myth. Now here's where I'll really make Porsche fanboys mad. One of the biggest arguments for the GT3 RS is that it's a pure driver's car. But if that's true, then why does Porsche keep adding more and more tech to it? Rear-wheel steering computers managing the aero, a million different drive modes. I'm sorry, but if you really want a pure driving experience, you don't need all that. The truth is, every new GT3 RS gets less raw, less analog, and more controlled by computers. If you really want that pure Porsche feel, go drive a 993, a 964 Carrera RS, or even an old Cayman GT4. That's what driving purism actually looks like. Number 4. What's actually a better buy? So if I wouldn't buy a GT3 RS, what would I get instead? Here are some cars that deliver more fun per dollar. 911 GT3, non-RS. Almost the same experience, way cheaper. C8, Corvette Z06, 9,000 RPM, naturally aspirated V8 and a warranty. McLaren 600 LT, faster, more exotic, and still cheaper than a GT3 RS markup. Lotus Exige, lighter, more raw, and more unique. These cars all offer more excitement without the Porsche tax. Number 5. Porsche's exclusivity is a lie. Porsche has convinced people that their GT cars are super rare and exclusive, but in reality, they make thousands of them. Every time they release a new special edition, it gets hyped as the last greatest version ever, until 2 years later, when they release another one. And people fall for it every single time. This is the last NA Porsche ever. Nope, another one is coming. This is the most hardcore GT3 RS ever, until the next one. Better buy it before it's too late. It's never too late because Porsche will never stop making them, and that's smart business. But let's be real, this isn't a limited, rare car, it's a mass-produced marketing trick. Now, I would like to talk about some crazy facts about the Porsche GT3 RS that will blow your mind. Number 1, Porsche charges you extra for less. Here's the biggest joke. Porsche charges you extra to remove things from the car. Want a lightweight package? That's extra. Want a manual transmission? Oops, you can't even get one. Want a paint color that's not boring? That's another $10,000. And here's the best part. Porsche literally sells a $1,000 option that removes your Porsche badge. At this point, you're paying for the badge and the hype. And if you're okay with that, fine. But let's not pretend this is some incredible value in the performance world. It's not. Number 2, Porsche's track warranty is a scam. Here's something Porsche doesn't want you to know. If you track your car, they can void your warranty. Porsche markets the GT3 RS as a track-ready weapon. But if you actually use it on a track and something breaks, they'll deny your warranty claim. Meanwhile, brands like Chevrolet and Ford literally encourage track use and offer warranties on their high-performance cars. If Porsche was really serious about making a track car, they'd back it up with a real track warranty, but they don't, because they know most GT3 RS owners will never push their cars that hard. Number 3, there are more limited edition Porsches than regular ones. Porsche has released so many special edition 911S that at this point, the normal 911 is actually rarer. Every few years, Porsche releases another Ultimate GT3 RS with a slightly higher redline and some fancy new vents, and every time, people rush to buy them, thinking it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But guess what? In a few years, there will be another one, and another, and another. Porsche is milking the hype and laughing all the way to the bank. Number 4, the new GT3 RS has more aero tech than a Formula One car. Porsche fans love to say less is more, but the new GT3 RS has an active aero system that's literally banned in F1. If you want a real, raw Porsche experience, you need to go back to the air-cooled era. In conclusion, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS isn't a bad car, but it is the most overhyped car of all time. It's too expensive, too overhyped, and too controlled by Porsche's marketing machine. The only reason people think it's the ultimate driver's car is because they've been brainwashed into believing it. But now I want to hear from you. Am I wrong? Is the GT3 RS actually worth all the hype? Or do you agree that it's just an overpriced flex car for Porsche fanboys? Let me know in the comments.